I was homeless, living out of a car. I had nowhere to go. So all of this is happening while I'm going to Vegas to receive an award. That
And then
weekend,
y'all got married 3 months later?
yes, yes.
You don't think that was too fast? Why did y'all keep the engagement on the low?
I had women in my life growing up, like my aunties and my mother and stuff, but I
Mm-hmm.
didn't really get the concept of how to be soft. You get what I'm
Yeah.
saying? When it comes to depression, I'm highly functional. You will not know if I'm
Mm-hmm.
depressed. You can't tell because I'm still this same person, but inside, like I'm hurting.
Hey, hey, ladies, welcome back to another episode of Conquer Conversations where we talked about real women who are conquering big things. I've been on a roll with the guests. So we have another guest today from the Conquer Club. We have one of the most bold and confident Conquer Club members that I've seen. Always shows up, always just all about her business. And she just recently popped out married. So we're about to get the tea. So Rashauna, hey honey, let me unmute your mic. Hey girl.
Hey.
Hey. Now I feel like this gonna be somebody's favorite episode because me and you talk outside of this anyway. But it'll be a chance for us to just tell everybody about the amazing stuff that you have going on. So first of all, introduce yourself to everyone.
Well, hello everybody. My name is Rashauna Daniels. Okay. I am a full-time travel agent for 7 years. Okay. Just recently retired myself last year, and I believe around March, around that time. And I specialize in group trips. So for any occasion, so that could be international trips, that could be birthdays, any type of event space that you need going on, any type of occasion, I'm well known for. I got my start in cruises, and so I just kind of ventured over into land. So there's that.
Mhm.
I also train other people, other women mainly, to become travel bosses like them, like myself. And so I've helped probably like close to 200 to 300 people, and I'm still training in a space, still training a company as a whole, like over 20,000 agents. So yes, I do a lot.
I love it. I love it. So you were in your career, now you're full time in your travel career. How was that? What was that like? What happened?
Oh gosh, it was so hard. So I started out wanting to be my dream, y'all. If you could get in your head as a kid what you wanted to be when you grew up, my dream
Mhm.
was a nurse practitioner. I'm like, I'm gonna be an MP. I got my head set in it. That's what I'm gonna do. So I got married, had children, and you know that talk. You know it. You have children and they're young, and going to school for a demanding career like that is really, really hard. It's really, really hard to do. So life happens. I got divorced from that, and then I had relationship issues after that, caused my kids to really go to the system for a short time, and I ended up getting it out. And so it put that career on pause. So
Wow.
around the time that I got started was in 2017. And my therapist told me, because I wasn't coming outside for months, and I'm transparent about it, I am. And I wasn't coming outside for months, and the caseworker would come by, and this was after my divorce. She would come by and everything. She was like, "You got to do something to get out." And I'm looking at her like, "Girl, I don't want to talk to you. You just came in here and took everything from me." And so,
Wow.
yeah. And so I went to therapy, and I was in therapy for 2 years. I was in therapy 2 years, and it was like, what do you like to do? What do you like? What keeps you going? What keeps you alive? I said, well, I like to travel. I really don't have anything. I didn't want to take any meds. You know how they try to put you on meds and everything like that. And I
Yeah.
just didn't want to do that because I heard all the horror stories, and they were like, well, your homework, to help keep you going, and so you don't get into this depressive state constantly, because you're gonna die progressively in a mental state if you don't get up, right, and try to push forward. I want you to start traveling, take a trip every 30 days. So that was part of my homework. Kind of tap into that.
Really?
Yes, tap into that.
So, okay, I didn't know this. So you said that back when you got your divorce and stuff, and you were getting ready to, well, not knowing what it's going to snowball into, of course, but start traveling. But your kids were in this, you and your family were in the system.
Yep, my family was in the system, and it's crazy because the first trip that I took, that I was going to take, was with my kids, and we were going to Orlando. I had won this Balmoral Resort. Go look it up. It's a nice resort, close to, like, maybe make an hour and a half from Disney World. And my kids that was the trip. My kids was supposed to be there, and they were not there. Can you imagine going I had a mansion, that literally a mansion to myself, and I had a pool and everything, in-ground pool. It was a whole house, and I think it was like 5 bedrooms, 6 bedrooms, and some odd baths, and my kids were not there. That I had did everything for them.
They temporarily took your kids and they
They
couldn't come on vacation with you.
they temporarily took them, and they couldn't come on vacation.
Wow. How was that?
Hard. It was hard. I remember driving to my upline's house a lot. She lives 4 hours away from me currently. And I remember just driving every weekend just to get some sort of motivation. Maybe if I sat around people that were trying to do what I was doing. And remember, we're new. We're new in this. We're new. We're new kids on the block. So I'm like, man, I really want this thing. And mind you, I was up for my gold award. I was so my business also was on the line as well. And then my grandmother passed in the midst of all of that. So it was extremely hard. I was very, very super depressed in that time, but I am a highly, when it comes to depression, I'm highly functional. You will not know if I'm
Mm,
depressed. You can't tell, because I'm
mhm.
still this same person, but inside, like, I'm hurting. It was very hard. I never thought I was gonna get my kids back or any of that. I
Really? So somebody called CPS on you?
No. So what happened was, I had met this guy, and
Mhm.
this guy had a background that was hidden. You can't see, if you're living in Missouri, you can't see that background in Illinois. You can't see it in a different state. So come to find out, my kids got physically abused, almost lost my life. And so, yeah, I reported it because I didn't know what to do in a situation like that. And I reported it, and yeah, they took him, which I didn't know what was going to happen. I just know
Right.
that I was in a bad situation and I needed help. So,
Yes. Wow. So
yeah,
that was in 2000. What year was that?
that was 2017. That was shortly
Okay.
after I started my business. 20 around the end of 2017, 2018 is when it really, like, hit hard, because I still went to that convention. I got my gold award. I walked stage and everything, and I was depressed then on stage, but I knew when I came back home it was going to be a fight.
Yeah. So fast forward, obviously your children come home
Hmm.
and you will leave that abusive situation.
Mind you, in the midst of all that, I was homeless, living out of a car. I had nowhere to go. So all of this is happening while I'm going to Vegas to receive an award for coaching agents. Yeah. What most people would have allowed that situation to stop them from progressing, I used it as motivation to keep going. It's all while depressed.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I feel like I'm some of the stuff I didn't know. Okay. So this is such a good topic because I can resonate with this just in my own way. Where your business, you're having this progression, and then you also have these other things going on in the background that aren't in alignment with the business progressing.
Hmm.
And then you'll have, obviously you ain't gonna tell nobody your business, but I know me, like I remember telling even my therapist, I was like, am I like a fraud or something? Like I'm going through all this stuff, but like I'm up here like winning it. Like, what is this? You know, okay. So homeless, survivor, winning, or at least on your journey, what happens then?
So, of course, I got evicted, and with an eviction, it's hard to get a new place. So I was from couch to couch
With your
uh,
baby.
with my babies.
And they
Couch
were how old at that time?
27. If they're 12 now, they had to be like 6 or 7 or something like
Okay.
that, somewhere around there.
Okay.
And I only had hour visitations. My oldest son's birthday was the 29th. It's the 29th of March. Can you imagine spending your kid's birthday and you only get 1 hour? I have 1 hour with my son. So my visitations were stripped. It was like I didn't have any rights at all. And so I was constantly being interrogated and all that stuff. And it just felt like it was an ending. It just felt like it kept going. So fast forward, I won my award. I eventually in 2020, I kept seeing a therapist. So the therapist, as long as I was seeing a therapist through the state, that case was going to remain open. So it took me 2 years. I had to go take parental classes, like as if I didn't know how to be a parent. It was crazy, the backlash that they give you for something like that. So 2 years had passed, and I finally got a place. And I was like, look, I just need me a place. I
Yes,
promise I'll do right. I just
right. Yes, for real. Right, absolutely.
So can you imagine? Oh my gosh, I ain't got no tissue. But can you imagine you come home with your golden award? And I remember coming home off the airport. I think my children's dad picked me up from the airport. And all I can remember telling my kids was like, I was like, look, mommy got the gold award for y'all. I got it for us. And they didn't quite understand it then. But my kids was my motivation back then. So I got my place and I got the keys, and I was finally able to hang my plaque up. I could not
Yes,
hang it up because it was always
yes,
in my car.
yes. I love that. So I want to go where we kind of left off, but you had somewhere to finally hang your award.
hmm
And so you keep traveling. You keep traveling. Do you start traveling after you get your place, even though you kind of weren't settled? Or how did that kind of come about?
I started traveling once I was in therapy. That
Okay,
was my homework. And so after that, the business wasn't really. I started my business because I wanted to personally travel. I never wanted to coach anybody, and it was really for my own personal needs. It was never to turn it into something that it is today. Um,
gotcha.
and so after my kids came home, I just continued. And then everybody just kind of started asking me, hey, what are you doing? How do I do that? And so that's how that got started. This business was never intended to be what it is.
Right. And so tell us when you say never intended to be what it is, pop your ish and tell us what it is today.
Whew. Uh, I have created my own hashtag. So my hashtag on Facebook is the bougie travel agent. Nobody else has this hashtag the way I spell it or anything like that. It has literally become well known. Everybody, my nickname in the company is bougie. So it literally has become something massive, something greater than myself. I've attracted a lot of women that want to travel or have been inspired by the story that I just told. Like, hey, I want to do that. I want to get my life in a direction to where, I want to be able to travel with my children or travel by myself or, just get out the world more. Mainly, and it's mainly Black women, that's mainly the ethnicity that I serve. So it just, it went into I'm a travel agent to I do group trips to I now do cruises, now I do land, now to I'm training the company. So it just kind of snowballed into something bigger. So it's just like I don't know, Deb. It's kind of like you can't believe it, you know? So it's so surreal.
Yeah. Yeah. So hmm, how do you talk about that story? Like, how did you overcome that? Like, how did you go from, because say 2017, which was 8 years ago, but it wasn't that long ago because, we hear stories of women or people kind of really getting stuck in dark places like that.
Hmm.
So, how did you like get through that and then get to a point where you seem like you're really thriving now?
I got through it, God first and foremost. I was always praying, baby, when you can't stand, you got to kneel. You
Yeah.
got to kneel because that's all I could do. And
Yeah.
just understanding the laws of the universe. If you down, you I mean you can't do nothing but go up.
Okay. I'd have been there. You on my knees like, Lord, I get no worse than this stuff.
You
I
bound to
feel
come back up.
yeah.
So,
Okay.
you just gotta go through what you gotta get through. And a lot of people try to skip it. Unfortunately it just wasn't something I could skip. It was real life. Real life was really happening.
Yeah.
So God, I didn't have my family quit on me. Didn't hear from them. I was isolated really, and what really got me through at the time, the company had a thing called Boss Moms. So we would do lives. I think it was every week. It was. We don't have that thing going anymore, but being around other women that were doing the same thing that I was doing and really poured into me with uplifting words, positive affirmations, telling me that everything was going to be okay. Just focus on what you got to focus on. Do all you can. Somebody checking in on me. How was the visits? Like my mentor told me all the time, how was the visits? How was the visit with the kids? Just being around women that can check into my mental and make sure that I'm okay. I had women sending me clothes. Mind you, at this time I was broke. I didn't have nothing because I would always have to do what the state wanted me to do. And it's hard trying to keep a job because you have to do what they want you to do. And then you still have to provide for yourself because I was always losing jobs, losing cars. Like I just could not seem to get it together. And I had women sending me clothes from St. Louis, like here goes some clothes for the kids.
Yeah.
Come down here and spend a night or two, be around, get some drinks, laugh or whatever. Women that
Yeah.
probably been through the same thing, here's how I handle it. So just when you're going through something like that, it's important to be around women that can help you,
Yeah.
just a
And
tribe
look
of women.
out for you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay. So you were working in nursing
Mm-hmm.
and then had your business and you're like, I'm shifting into this full time. Was that a plan decision? Was it a income decision? Was it a how did you get to the point where you're like, hey, I'm transitioning full time?
So I got to that point because I just was tired. The more my business kept growing, the more, because nursing is demanding. It doesn't matter where you're at on the totem pole. You could be a CNA, you could be an LPN, RN, MP, doctor. Every stage and every level is definitely demanding. And the more my business grew, especially when I got connected to you, the more demanding my business became. And so I would find myself at work taking phone calls, getting agitated because I got to get off the phone. I got to get off the phone
Yeah.
because so and so got their call bell on, and I got to go do this over here or I lose my job.
Oh, baby. Okay, they're about to pass up, baby. I'm trying to tell a trip to Disney. Okay, baby. Damn near cold blue. Okay.
Right.
Okay. So now with business, I feel that you get to a point now where you obviously have obligations at work and you obviously have to have integrity at work, but you're like, man, I'm missing out by being here. What do you think about? Okay, so what else happened?
So I ended up getting my gold plaque while I was at work. I ended up
Mm-hmm.
signing like 42 agents in 3 days. Like I was on a hiatus. So I had 42 successful
Wow,
conversations
you signed up 42 new agents in 3 days?
in 3 days. I went gold in 72 hours. I
Dang.
was not caring what the cost was. I knew that I had to get this because I told my kids I was gonna do something, and I ain't trying to come back home empty handed. Like I couldn't do it because I just didn't want to do that. So I did that, and I was on the phone, and I ended up leaving that job because they was like I was on the phone too much. So then I stepped into agency work, and what that is it's kind of like a, depending on which company you choose, it can be a 1099 or it can be a 1040. I learned about myself that I don't like to be told what to do, so I like to do what it is that I want to do in my own timing. So that's how the got away from the 1040 stuff to the 1099. So I was liking that, and I did that for 6 years because I love the flexibility. Plus, I got to still travel, and I got to do what it is that I wanted to do on my own time. So this would look like I would go to St. Louis or something like that. Like I would be in St. Louis making a lot of money, a lot, and I'm talking about a lot of money. And I would go there, book a hotel underneath my travel agent rate, and then go stay, and then leave and come home. I would do doubles Friday and Saturday. I would do doubles Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then come back
Mm-hmm.
home. And that was my money for the week. So I would do that, and then I was still a mom. So I would have a week with my kids because my kids were much younger, so they were still in school. So that's what I would do. They would go to their dad's house, and then I would get them. I would do it like that, and it really got fun during COVID because there was nobody traveling.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so how do you make the decision to quit?
So recently, last year, behind COVID, it seemed like the industry had just got terribly worse. They
Okay.
were enrolling, the schooling for it to become a CNA was much shorter. When I went, you had 3 months to do it, and it was very, very intense and very strict. They were just enrolling people in because it was COVID and it was so short, which the
Yeah.
field was already short, but they were calling people out of retirement, and new people that wanted to be CNAs, they would just put them on through, no schooling, no nothing. So when the world opened back up, the field had just got worse. Nobody cared for the patients. And back when I got started, you was able to sit in these patients' rooms, talk to them. And to me, that's patient care.
Right.
That's that's patient. How's that, Dad? How's
Okay.
it? Okay. And so people would just get in and they just would not care. So now the nurses were telling you, the bosses were telling you that you couldn't even sit in the patient's room no more and talk. So I'm just like, well, this isn't patient care. This isn't caring for people. So now it just became all about charting. It became all about the dollar. It became that. And it probably has been that way. I'm not saying that it hasn't, but it just became more prevalent after COVID.
Gotcha.
So then they start, and that's been that way too. The attitudes, how you get treated, especially as a black woman, you have to do a little bit more than other people. And so it just started to get like disrespect. And I was just like, I can't
Not
do
the
this
play.
anymore.
Yeah.
Like, I can't do it. Mm-mm.
Got it. Got it. So I remember when you quit and you called me.
Yes. I was like, damn, I quit. I don't know what I just did, but I left.
Now let me ask you this because I didn't quit on a whim, but looking back, I quit on a whim a little bit. Do you feel like you quit on a whim?
I
If
did. I quit on a whim there. I did.
do you regret it?
No.
I feel you.
I do not regret it because the amount of peace that I have is the peace. It's the peace, it's the freedom. I'm not really chasing the dollar. It's really the freedom to be able to. It started getting in the way of me being a mother, and that's where I'm gonna have to draw the line. Like, I
Mm.
can't mother my kids properly because I'm stressed out at a job, right? And us women, we do so much. We wear so many
Talk
several
about
hats.
that. Yeah, talk about this because that's something that, and I'll add this. That's something where I was thinking, even in my business, I'm like, I can feel the difference even when how I treat anybody. When I'm flustered, when I don't have, when I'm all of those things. So when you talk about peace and making it a part of even motherhood, what does that look like?
So, along with this, nursing will make, I mean, I'm going to talk about femininity a little bit. Nursing, people say the stigma with nursing is people say that nursing is a soft industry, and it is far from the truth. It's not soft. It will make you, if you're not careful, it will make you bring out the masculinity version, and that's not the version that you should be as far as a
Okay.
woman goes.
Okay.
So the more I was trying to give and give and give to this job and these patients, I was neglecting myself. I was neglecting my kids. I would come home angry. I didn't have the energy. I didn't have the patience. I didn't have the time to cook dinner, to nurture, to do everything that my kids need. And that's not fair to them, you know? So if this job is causing me to not show up in areas for myself, even, let alone be a mother, something's got to change.
Right.
So, and even then, it's so much story to that because after that, after the abuse and all of that I went through, I had was in another relationship, and I moved to Tampa, Florida, and I was being mentally abused there. So I had to let that go. It wasn't coinciding with, it wasn't in alignment with what I was doing. So coming from that and still doing nursing down there and still doing my job and still running a business, I had was mentally broken back there. So I had to come back here and rebuild my
Hmm.
mental, my femininity, because I'm like, I don't even know what I'm supposed, I don't even know how I'm supposed to be.
Yeah.
So, and a lot of women are ashamed of that, and there's nothing to be ashamed of. But how I got through that was I picked up a lot of books. It wasn't that I didn't know how to be a mother, but I picked up a lot of self-help books. How do I get this masculine touch off me to where I'm so angry and aggressive all the time?
Yeah, I was gonna say it's almost like an anger,
Yes.
or frustration.
Yeah. So I read books. I
Hmm.
read healing books,
Hmm.
and it taught me how to be like, I had women in my life growing up, like my aunties and my mother and stuff, but I
Hmm.
didn't really get the concept of how to be soft. You get what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like,
I feel you. I feel like for me, I can resonate with that because I'm sitting up here thinking about what I saw when I was little. I saw, and I get it. Bills gotta be paid. We need food on this table. You can depend on a man, can't depend on a man, so we gotta get it. But what I saw was a woman that goes to work, come rushes home at 5 o'clock, swinging to get y'all from school. We're having dinner. You go in there. I and this is obviously just my experience. There's no space or time for all of the things, right? Because we got to work, we got to eat, you got to get your stuff together for tomorrow. They said y'all going to the zoo. Let me run out ATM and get $10 and yada yada yada. But I also like I sympathize with a woman who has to go to work to, what I'm saying, to take care of things. But
yeah,
that first example, I never wanted that for myself
yeah,
because it's just something I just never wanted for myself because, like you said, it was almost like a constant frustration or a constant da 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 da. Da. And I know that there are women out there who are working and whatever they do, they're able to come home and turn it off. But even the little 10 days I went back to work in November, I found myself getting off at 4 o'clock and my brain was at that office for at least 2 hours still. I know for a fact. It wasn't until like 6:30 where I was finally able to like, whoo, I'm at home. maybe I can, I can pay. I'm watching the TV, but I'm not really, getting lost in it and just relaxing. Like, I feel that.
Yeah, and it's like I even find time, and I don't know if any other ladies can relate to this, but
Hmm.
I even found myself just thinking like I chose wrong for my
What do you
children.
mean?
I chose wrong for my children. I did. I chose wrong because had I would have chose right, it would still be. But I chose wrong.
What
Why?
do you mean for men, or what do you mean?
In men, I chose wrong, and that's something that a lot of women struggle with the accountability with. I'm gonna be all the way real. I did. I chose wrong. I should have thought that through, and I should have thought it out. And that's my accountability that I take accountability for. So now I'm navigating at this time, I'm navigating like, how do I correct it? Because my children are already here. So
Right.
how do I correct something that I made a wrong decision on? And I got married, like my first marriage was like I was 20, 21. Like I didn't know. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I was only taught one way, but I didn't get taught the other bad side of the coin. What happens if you do this and you don't think this out? And a lot of times, I think I married the first time around for compatibility and not suitability. See, compatibility will get you
Mhm.
messed up because just because you're compatible with a person doesn't mean they're suitable for you, you know? And it wasn't suitable. Now that my 32-year-old self could go back and tell my 21-year-old self, girl, that wasn't suitable. Y'all were
Yeah.
compatible, but girl,
So
that
you're
wasn't
saying
suitable.
that y'all could kick it, ha ha, but for the long term, the puzzle pieces fitting into one cohesive goal.
Yeah, and it is not. This is not bashing or anything. It's just being
Yeah.
real. It's not bashing or anything. Great father to his kids. He's doing. Everybody's doing what they know how and what they've been taught. There is no
Right.
playbook to being a parent at all. There's no playbook to life. You just kind of gotta learn lessons and figure it out. But I chose wrong. Here I am trying to correct it and trying to find me. That's the whole 20, the whole decade of my 20s was trying to find Rashauna and how can I show up for myself and at the same time be a mom but be nurturing and more soft.
Yeah.
And again, what helped me was reading books. A lot of women don't do that. A lot of women go to podcasts and they listen to men and whole time you got Ace Metaphor and them just came out with tonight's conversation, baby, and the tea is hot. you
Yes.
know?
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And imagine y'all done went on a date there talking about the conversation in the car. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel you on that. I got you. Sorry, y'all. I done got cold, baby. We having this good girl talk, honey. Okay. Okay. So that's a story to
hmm
overcome. And
Yes.
now you've gotten to the point now where you're working full time inside the business and you just popped out married again. About how in the world did you go from homeless, being abused, CPS taking your children, starting a business, another toxic relationship out of town, to just popping out married a couple of weeks ago?
Girl, I can't believe it myself. Still, I'm still in shock. Like, they
Tell us
say
about why you decided to get married. Why do you trust marriage again?
because a wife. Being a wife is a calling. You don't
Okay.
just wake up being that. That's something you got to be called to do. That's a mission in my heart that I'm called to do. I am not meant. There's two type of girls in the world. There's those girls that are single and cool with their single life, and then there's
Yeah.
those girlies that wife is their thing, and wife
Yeah.
is my thing. I
Yeah.
got raised by wives. That's all I saw. That's all I
Yeah.
know. you know. So I had some good examples of marriages. My mama did not play when it came to that. No shacking up. We supposed to do this thing, and that's what we supposed to do. So I feel like I have a calling for that. and everybody is not meant for that. It literally has to be in here to want to be able to be loved and want to love somebody and to serve.
Yeah.
So
It is full-time servitude being a wife
it
here.
it is
It's full-time servitude.
full-time servitude.
And that's
I,
what a great husband who's awesome and checking all of the boxes and doing.
woo, yes, you
Yeah.
cannot be in servitude with the
Yeah.
Pookies and Ray Rays, honey. It's just not gonna work.
Mine, that's got to be about 4 full-time jobs for sure.
Yes.
Mine.
So I think how I would say how I became into being a wife again was that first of all I did healing. A lot of people let me tell you something. This healing right here that I had to have, I had got me a therapist and I read my self-help books and I had a man in my corner for a little bit of chess game with these men out here. I was like, give
It's
me some
so
game.
helpful. So helpful.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, a male, like, and I'm not talking about somebody you sitting on, child. I'm talking about straight up, strictly platonic.
Somebody
Okay.
who cares about you and who like, hey sis, I don't know about bro. No, you tripping. You need to give bro a chance, man. He like you. Absolutely.
Right.
That is such a good gem. Yeah,
Yes.
it's true. That is true.
So somebody that has your best interest at heart, definitely. And somebody, it's always good as a woman to get a male perspective on relationships because women, we only see one way. Men think a different way. So that was one in itself. So I guess that was a little part of my healing too. God sent me a little friend to confide in and stuff like that when journeys and stuff got hard. And, friends and married.
Oh, wait, so this friend at the time, that was your husband?
It is now.
Oh, okay. So I'm thinking, so he was platonic at that time.
We were friends for a long time. We were friends for a long time, and it just grew into something. The friendship. Let me tell y'all another gem with marriage that a lot of people rush is take your time and be friends. You have to establish that friendship foundation because if you don't establish that foundation like that, my husband is my homie. Like that's my ace. That is my partner in crime. That's my friend that I could chill with, laugh with, kick it with, skate with. I could do anything with this man. So I think that our friendship is something that I really, really, really value. And if
Yeah.
I can be great friends with a guy, then I know that it can potentially lead somewhere. And so, child, I
How
was
did
all
y'all get from that to getting married?
because I was always the one flirting.
You were flirting with him.
I was always the one flirting. I was a little hot. I was hot. And I would always tell him, I was always asking, like, why you not in our relationship? Matter of fact, we had met actually 7 years ago, around the time I started my business. So I really DM'd him on the late night tip and was like,
But you were single during that time.
I was single. Yeah, I was single. And I was DMing him really about business. I was like, hey, do you want to become a travel agent? I got this going
Man, do
on.
you want to be a travel agent?
At
Or
three
do
in the
you
morning,
want
girl.
to what both? Do you like me? Yes, no, baby. Do you want to be a travel agent and give me some of that? For
Check
real.
the boxes, child.
Nah,
So
for real. Okay.
so we that came about, but then it was 3 in the morning. So he could have cussed me out easily. Because it was ungodly hours, child. And I went to his Facebook and I saw this little picture. I'm like, hold on. I want some of that. So
Yeah.
in
I
my
didn't know
mind,
that y'all connected online, were friends, and then when did y'all kind of make the shift in your relationship?
the shift in my relationship came in October, this past October. Actually,
October of 2024.
yes, I
And
was
y'all got married
got married on the
January.
15th of January. So
Okay, so wait, tell us, yeah, tell me.
so this October, remember I had that Midwest boot camp?
That's right. Okay.
And that week, I was, listen, child, when I tell y'all I was hot, I was hot. I was outside. I'm single. I'm gonna date. I'm gonna mingle. I'm gonna do whatever. And so he lives. The event was in St. Louis, and that's where he was located. And we were friends, platonic friends. So I would go visit and like, hey, I'm in town. I got this event, but before I leave, we should catch up, or whatever like that.
Mm.
And one night, child, he just asked me to, he's like, I think this could work. You know, let's make it work. And I was like, okay, cool. He basically asked me to be, exclusively dating. So we dated for a while, and then he just popped the question. I'm like, oh,
So
okay.
when did y'all start dating?
that weekend. That
In
weekend.
October?
Yes. That
And then
weekend.
y'all got married 3 months later?
Yes.
You
Yes.
don't think that was too fast?
Nope. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. No, because that man knows, honey. He knows. And he knew. And we've been friends for 4 years. We've been friends
Yeah.
for a long time. So it's not like we were strangers or didn't know each other. We were getting to
Right.
know each other through the friendship, not trying to get to know each other on purpose, but just building a friendship, honestly. And it just happened like that. And it's
Yeah.
just like, I can't believe I married my best friend. Like that's kind of the always the story that I wanted as a little girl. Like, man, I want to marry my best friend. Like, I gotta marry my homie in order for it to make sense for me. I gotta marry my homie.
Yes. Why did y'all keep the engagement on the low?
Because for us, the noise be so loud. And I wanted to enjoy something that was exclusively for me. And he felt the same way. I feel like when some things, especially a relationship, it's easy to go tell your family, go tell your friends and stuff like that. And then some people may have good things to say, some people may have bad things to say. And I didn't want those opinions to come inside and ruin because I wanted it to be purely my idea and his idea and how we feel about the situation, how we feel about the relationship, how we feel about each other, without my mama saying something, without my daddy saying something, without my sister, without my friends, without this girl that I used to
Yeah.
talk to now. You know what I'm saying? I don't need no validation. So I didn't want to be validated. I wanted the only person that I needed to be valid with was myself. Do I feel comfortable doing this? Is this the person that I want to spend my life with? And do he feel the same way? And it's a difference when somebody likes you, child.
Yeah.
That
That's
man like me
true. That's
real
true.
bad.
Wow. Okay. So y'all have been friends for 7 years. Started dating last October. Y'all got engaged and y'all just got married this month in January. What
Hmm.
has the feedback been?
What has the what been?
The feedback.
The feedback?
Because you
Who?
popped out, Mary, y'all. She popped out. I'm talking like this because I kind of know some of this already, but she
Yeah,
popped out. Yeah.
I popped out. So what I did, what people were saying, you guys, I had like about 15 women in my life, you included, the Conquer Club, and other women that I met in the travel space that are extremely happy. And I mean, girl, where the bachelor party at? One of my friends even came here. She was like, I gotta come see you. So for about the first few days, it was just an overflow of emotions. But then, you got people that aren't so happy. You got friends or people, family members really, on both sides of the fence that ain't happy. You got the nosy rosies. You got people on social media. Are you married for real? Like, I had to ask somebody that. I was like, child, who does that? Who fakes a marriage? My life is not love and hip hop. I'm not Yandy and he ain't Mendices. Cut it out. So it's been a little mix of both. And this is exactly why I didn't want to say anything, because I needed this space for me. I needed something that was my own, that didn't have all the outside opinions. And when I look and gather everything and take in all the feedback and the information, it's like, this is why I didn't tell nobody, because the negative feedback, this is what it would have been. And I
Yeah,
didn't want all the noise.
yeah. So why were they upset though?
You know, because social media has grown into what it is, everybody posts their every move. Seems
Okay,
like nobody
okay,
keeps nothing private anymore. Um, and I just believe a marriage is between a woman and a man. That's just my
right.
belief. I don't think that when you marry somebody, you marry their whole entire family. Absolutely not. I just don't subscribe to it. So I
Mhm.
think it's just because people wanted to really know what's going on, because it was so sudden to the world, even you, to the world's like, dang, where he come from? You know what I'm saying? So everybody
Right,
want to know the tea,
right,
and everybody's like, well, why didn't y'all say nothing? Because it's our business. You know what I'm saying? And we're not just a meme. It was real life. You know how you got these memes that people share all the time, like popped out dead in private, pop out married. No, we really did that. Nobody knew, until we were ready to tell it. So I think people just want to know your every move, and so they get disturbed when they don't know, or why did she do that, or she just got out of something like that, or they trying to put the timeline together. Well, wait a minute, she was just in Florida and she was with this guy, and that in 2 years wasn't that long ago. It wasn't that long ago. She just got a relationship with that guy. Now she over here with this, and now she done popped out married. Like, what happened? You know what I'm saying? I think
right.
it's the
Trying to fill in the
timeline
gap.
of events that people are trying to put together.
Gotcha. Okay. What are y'all future plans?
So I'm trying to get him to retire himself so we can go travel the world. I'm gonna drag him along with me on my
Ah, how does he feel about that?
um
What does he
one of,
think?
one of my requirements was for him to have a passport, child. I need you to have a passport because I stay on the go, and I need my husband to be gone with me if he want to go. So the thing is to get his career like it's going, but I really want to see him prosper in his music producing and different things like that, because he was a DJ for years and he's an engineer. So, and he's really good at it. So I'm trying to push him into his studio, get his studio going and stuff like that, because he is a very smart person, and he's very, very hands-on. I love it. The goal really is to just live life together. Like, we don't want any more children. We kind of satisfied with what we
Okay.
have.
Hmm.
So we just want to just enjoy each other. Like, I'm telling you, Deb, this is my homie. I just want to expand on the friendship.
Wow. Okay. 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 So your story is incredible, child. I'm thinking like I didn't even know all of this. Okay. So you have overcome a lot.
Yes.
What is your advice for maybe some of the day-to-day things that we can do to maintain balance or just trust the process? What do you think?
For me, what has worked for me is you have to run your own race. I spent so many years in my 20s trying to be like this one, trying to be like that one. I need to do this because she's doing it. I need to do that because she's doing it. I even looked at you like, oh, she doing that. Let me try to mimic that. You can't mimic anyone. You can only be yourself. In a
Right.
world full of people, you can only be you. So I would say whatever it is that's true to you, be true to you, and no judgment. You cannot
Right.
be. I didn't get here being polished. I did not. I didn't get to this place being polished. I didn't get to this place talking proper. I got to this place being me, funny, cussing, loving God still, going through mistakes, quitting on myself, quitting this job, quitting that job, throwing my hands in the air. That's how I got here. So I would say be true to yourself, own your own journey. It is what it is. Stop trying to skip the process that you got to go through, because you got to go through it, right? You got to
Right.
get through it. You got to go through it to get to where you're trying to go to. So I just be authentic is what I'm trying to say. Be you, because we can see through it, especially on the internet. Like, I can see through it all day long. The fluff.
I always tell women, I said, baby, I know I'll be the same way. When you ain't feeling it, it's like we could just smell it on you a mile away. It just don't hit the same.
Yep. And I would say
Girl.
I would say also don't be scared of therapy. A lot of women, you know, the podcast on internet is not therapy, ladies. It's
Right.
not. You got that therapy when, especially when you've been heartbroken, abused, misused, mistreated. You done did business after business after business, relationship after relationship. That stuff is trauma, and you really need to go sit and deal with that, right? And 2 years may not be enough, depending on the trauma that you have. You know,
Right.
it may take you 6 years to get through it, but go see someone and talk to someone. Talking to your friend is not a therapy. They not a therapist. They got their own lives.
Right.
Talk. It's good to have those friends around, but at the end of the day, you need some professional help, and it's okay to admit that it is. So that's what got me through it, taking some accountability for self, right? Because nobody put me in those situations. I put me in those situations simply because I was not aware. I wasn't aware of my surroundings. I didn't do my homework. I didn't check. I didn't do anything. So be self aware about yourself and get the help. You know, the first thing is admitting that there is a problem. Everybody else is not the problem. It's going to always point back at you, you know?
Right. That's
So,
real.
mhm,
Starts and ends with us. So you've been in the Conquer Club too for
yes,
some time.
yes.
Um, how has that kind of played a role in what you do, how you get through, how you know?
First of all, I would say the first thing that helps me is the space to be vulnerable. That is my safe space every Tuesday night. I look forward to it.
Yeah,
I
me
can
too.
come and get my problems out. Ain't nobody judging me. We can cry. We get tissues. We can cry. We just can. We don't have enough of that for business. We don't have enough. A lot of girlies are always talking about how they want a business bestie. Child, you don't need another business bestie. You really don't. You need a
Yeah,
safe space, is what you need. You need a safe space to talk about your ideas without somebody feeling like you better than them and all that other stuff, where somebody can celebrate your wins and stuff like that, because girls can be really catty and really petty. And that's the space that I appreciate first. That's the space. Second, it helps me in my business because I actually have a schedule. If it ain't on my calendar, baby, it don't get done. I don't care what it is. You
right,
better make
correct.
an appointment. It's taught me to set boundaries. This because I'm a mom. If I don't set boundaries as women, if I feel like if we don't have no boundaries, we get walked on. Real talk. We
Facts.
get we get walked
And
on real
that's
bad.
something that people can smell on you too. When they know
Hmm.
you're the type of person that can't say no,
Hmm.
they gonna smell it on you.
Yeah, so learning how to set boundaries for your personal life and your business. You can have boundaries for business without being, mean about it. I only accept appointments from this time to that time, and after that, it's me time. It's time for my husband. It's time for my kids. I don't take anything else unless you're a paying client. I don't pick up my phone. I only talk to people that are ready to book clients. I don't get on my phone to waste my time because time is money now. Now that you are a full, when you become a full time entrepreneur, you will understand that your time is money. You will
Absolutely.
understand that. Like you got time to play around when you got a job, and when you full time, baby, you ain't got time to be being on that phone playing with Sue, Sally, and John, who ain't really serious. Okay, you ain't all right. Let me know when you get ready, when you got some money. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So a safe space, boundaries, and my business really has propelled since I've just been showing up for myself. Like I
Mhm.
don't hide behind. I remember when I met you, I was doing all these flyers. Child, I probably go on Canva once a year.
Or
you
apply
know,
for something.
I
Yeah.
don't hide behind a flyer. I'm not hiding behind nothing. I can go live. I can do some reels. I can do the stories. I just posted a reel with my makeup on and all of that. I don't care. Y'all finna get the real life. And I think a lot of women are scared to show up in that way. Well, I don't have to go live, but baby, somebody want to hear from you. You know,
Facts.
we want to hear
Facts.
from you.
Say it.
We
Say
do.
that.
We want we want to see you. We don't want to see you talking about travel and then you ain't been nowhere. We don't believe that. That's fluff.
Facts. Absolutely. 1000%. That's
Yeah.
truth.
So
I
that
love it.
yes, that's how Conquer has helped me. And I know we on this live, this podcast, but honey, if you ain't in the Conquer Club, you need to get there.
Different type of space. And I have to clarify because people will follow me and they assume that it's some type of coaching space, which it was and can be because we just all naturally share gems and info and our experience. But it's really turned into something that's just rooted in us doing life together. We're gonna always talk about business. We're gonna always pop our ish, all of the things, but it's
Mhm.
more like we know Camille husband day, we know Ashley kids in the back. It's like okay, I found my people. Like they doing the same stuff. They speaking to, they hosting events. They have good ideas. They have projects they're working on. We're not worried about what to post on Instagram next week. We're like, how do we scale it? How do we make it bigger? How can I get more visibility? How can people fly me out? So I can speak. I can speak on that. So I'm here
Yes.
for it. Let's shift gears before we end and let's play one round of Conquer or Cocktails.
Okay. I'm here for it.
So Conquer or Cocktails is my signature game that I created at my networking event, Conquering Cocktails, which we will be doing this upcoming February in Dallas. We'll be having us a Galentine's on February the 7th. And then I think we're going to be moving to Memphis and having something for spring break there in March.
Yes.
So at the networking event, the Conquer question is more business related, but the cocktail question is you outside of business, and it's good spicy girl talk because I love business, but I also love a little tea, honey. I love a little warm tea. Okay, so Conquer or cocktails.
I'm a daredevil, so let's go for the cocktails.
Let's go for the cocktails.
Yes.
What's the wildest thing you did when you were single?
Oh damn. Oh my God. Whew. The wildest thing I did when I was single.
I know you probably can't tell us the real wildest thing, but
This is gonna be crazy, but
okay.
I was in Vegas one time and I wanted to see Usher really bad.
Mhm.
And no, that's not the wildest thing I did. That's not. I take that back. That's not the wildest thing. The wildest thing when I was in Vegas, what was it? A year ago, last month. A year ago, last month. I threw. Okay, the previous relationship. Now y'all don't know. Women are the ones to get thrown out of hotel rooms. That's the cliche, right? So he was being very disrespectful and all of this stuff. Girl, I threw him. I said, you know what? Get out of my room. Just get out.
Is this your last boyfriend?
This was the last one. Remember the Tampa Bay one? So we were
Okay,
still trying to
okay,
make something work and stuff like that.
okay, okay.
And I kicked him completely out of my room. And I called my friends in Vegas. I said, girl, I just had to kick this. She said, you did what? I was like, yeah, I kicked him out. She said, well, where did he go? I said, I don't care, but he had to get on the other side of that door. She was like, well, he all the way he's all the way from home. Girl. I said, I don't care about that. So then later that night, because I had went to, I was just trying to find something to do. There was this Magic Mike show. Baby, he had really hurt my feelings. He did. And so I was like, I'm gonna go out here and show out. So there was this Magic Mike show at this hotel, baby. When I tell you I got the lap dance of my life.
Girl, not keep about it. Go to the Magic Mike show is wow. Oh, our ancestors would be proud, Rashauna.
I said,
Girl,
let me
that's
go.
funny.
I said, let me go get this lap dance because he think I'm praying. Yes, playing. Yes, girl. Straight up men, straight up, ain't nothing on but they little briefs, baby. And I
Yeah,
was,
you in there.
I
And you
had
want to
drinks
start,
and
baby.
ones.
Oh, I love that girl. That's a good answer. Okay, okay. Conquer or cocktail?
Let's do Conquer this time.
Let's do conquer. Okay. All right, let's see. Okay. Are you happy with your life?
Yes,
I
I'm
love
very satisfied. I mean, I'm the girl that I was dreaming about.
I
I'm
love
the girl. I have become the girl of my dreams. I'm the girl. I'm the girl. I feel like I'm the girl that I always wanted to become. I'm the girl that motivate the other girls, and I'm just the it girl. That's just how I feel. Like, and you can't tell me no different. I love my life. I enjoy my marriage. I enjoy my husband. I now enjoy my babies. I'm in my femininity. I'm smiling a lot more. I'm happy. Like, I'm the girl. I'm that girl. I'm bougie.
I
That's
love
it.
I love it. Okay, so I'm sure anybody listening to this is gonna want to follow you online to see all of the content, to see all of the things. So tell us, do you have anything coming up? How can we follow you online? Tell us more.
So what I have coming up is in March. I am getting ready. Y'all know I travel. Anybody that don't know, I'm a very frequent traveler. So in March, I'm gonna be in Pigeon Forge. Plan to be
Ooh.
in Pigeon Forge. And if you do the something in Memphis, you know I'm gonna be there.
Oh
So
yeah. Okay.
so I'm doing Pigeon Forge. What else am I doing? I'm doing Costa Rica. I'm gonna be taking on Costa Rica in May for my birthday, and I'm dragging my husband along as long as his off days align with that. I'm doing Greece. We're gonna do Greece in December, and I'm gonna be staying in a cave house. So those houses that you see in Greece, the white ones, where it's
Yeah,
the cave,
the
everything
ones
like
in the
that.
cliff
Yes, yes. So I'm gonna be doing that. I haven't got the itinerary all the way worked out yet, but the hotel, the cave is booked. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm gonna be going to Nintendo World. I'm trying to plan that for June. I haven't booked the hotel yet. I was playing around with it last night, just trying to get the itinerary together. They have Nintendo World in LA, but it's very, very small. And Orlando is big. You know, Hollywood ain't nothing but a skip and a jump back and forth. So
Yeah.
that opening day is set to open in May on the 22nd. So I'm excited for that to get the experience that firsthand. I already got a posse of girls that want to follow me, child. I made a
Yeah,
post last
so
night.
I was gonna ask, these trips you're talking about, are these group trips we can come be a part of, or how can we come be a part of your community, what you have going on, and book you and travel with you?
So I have, you can definitely get on. I have an appointment set, so you can definitely follow me by appointments. That's on my website at beautiful-vacations.com.
Okay.
Also, I have a community group called the Bougie Travelers Club. So if you ever want to get in there and share your ideas, listen, it's a free space. You can post your trips, introduce yourself. I ask like hot topic questions about travel and different things like that. And if you ever want to go on any of these group trips, a lot of trips I have posted on my site as well. Or you could just DM me, like, are you doing a group trip for that or whatever? And I'm like, yeah, girl, come tag along. So the Nintendo trip, I'm probably going to turn that into a group because several of the ladies have asked me, like, hey, can I get in on that? Like my previous client, she just came, took her kids to on a Disney cruise. And so now she wants to tag along.
Okay.
So the more I travel, the more people see me travel, the more they be like, hey, can I tag along with that? So yeah, that's pretty much how I do it. You can follow me on Facebook at Rashauna Daniels, hashtag bougie, BOUGIEE, two E's, travel agent, the bougie travel agent, hashtag all across all platforms. I'm on Instagram as well, but you can mainly find me on Facebook. That is where I'm the most active. So
I love it. This was a great, girl, because there's some stuff I did know about you and some stuff that I didn't know about you. So I'm sure any woman hearing this, something is gonna resonate, whether it's about marriage, whether it's about business, whether it's about overcoming, motherhood, and just conquering, girl, and going. All right, ladies, we're gonna see y'all next week on Conquer Conversations. And if you want to learn more about the Conquer Club, you can go to jointheconquerclub.com. And every Tuesday night, I'm with women like Rashauna who are doing amazing things in real life. So I will see you next week, ladies.